everyone. Welcome back. I'm Laurie Houde, and I'm with Mom's Got a Podcast. I'm so glad you're here today. I hope that you've been blessed and encouraged by Season 1, Parenting on Purpose, Season 2, interviews with my family and some ministry friends and partners. And now I'm starting a new series. This is part 2 of D.I.S.C-informed parenting and D.I.S.C-informed leadership. These are going to be short videos just sharing the heart of Christian D.I.S.C testing for families and Christian D.I.S.C testing for leadership. Whatever kind of leadership you're in, and this is for men and women. So come along. I'm really excited to have you here. Last video, I shared with you what the D.I.S.C D.I.S.C test stands for. Always remember, D is direct and dominant. They're very strong. They're very driven. So you can remember that with D. Remember that the I is inspiring and influential and probably a lot of enthusiasm and very much like, exciting person in life. The S, servant-hearted, steady, behind the scenes, stable. So those S's will help you remember what an S is. And the C in the D.I.S.C testing is concise and consistent and rule following. Now, back to the tree book that I will mention every time. It's this book. I really pray that you get this book and go listen to my Parenting on Purpose Season 1 podcast because I talk so much about this book in that. But that book teaches that the D is a rose bush, the I is a palm tree, the C is a pine tree, the C is a boxwood. And so that's where we get our base for this. And I'm going to repeat those on a regular basis so that you become D.I.S.C informed. I actually need to tell you the story behind this. I am a leader at our church alongside my husband, and we were having a department head leadership meeting, and I was pulling out our information, and we were doing some training on the D.I.S.C testing, and I was absolutely loving just sharing everything. And this new gal came up to me and said, "Hey, you're missing one word in your vocabulary." And I'm like, really? Because I always have a lot of words. How could I be missing one word? And I actually love that she approached me and she said, "You're missing the word informed." And the reason I'm going to share this is because this is the reason I'm doing this. Is she goes, I work in the medical field, and I have to go through trauma training so that when any patient comes into the hospital, I can assess by their attributes, how they're acting, how they're responding, what's going on, what they say. She goes, because I've been trained in it, I can see that patient through the lens of trauma-informed training. So she goes, I can go, oh, they're not just being overreacted. They have trauma. And so she goes, so when you're doing the D.I.S.C testing, and you want us to know it as leaders or as parents, what you really want is you want it to be such a normal part of your training and a normal part of your thinking so that when you are raising a little palm tree, you are D.I.S.C informed that that's a I in the D.I.S.C test. And you're like, oh, they're not just being naughty. They are being expressive and they are being inspiring and they want to change the whole world. That's how God made them. So if I'm D.I.S.C informed, the way that medical professional was trauma informed, it's to best minister to or serve the needs of her patients. And I feel like as moms and dads, as pastors and leaders and any kind of business leader, that if you are in charge of people, then you should be informed with the D.I.S.C test. So that when your very quiet and shy child comes up to you and is feeling very skittish, and you don't have to be like, oh, something's wrong with my child. They need to just be like talking and loud and bold. You'll be able to go, oh, I'm informed in the D.I.S.C test. That child might be more of a C or more of an S, and they may not be as loud and outgoing, and they may need a gentler tone. And so the reason that the gal wrote the book, Growing Kids with Character, that I will put in my show notes, go buy it down here. And I think you might even get a code and can buy that book. But the reason she wrote this is so that as parents, we can see how God designed our children. And then we can minister to them through the specific design that God placed in them. But here's the trick. What happens when you are an ID as a parent? So I'm an I, which is a palm tree, and a D, which is a rose bush. which means I am lots of energy. My kids would come home and be like, how are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? Who'd you sit by at lunch? And how can you like share your whole life with me? And some of my kids loved that. And some of my kids found that just like too much, Mom. And some of my children are not D or rosebush at all, or not I and palm tree at all. So I was coming at them very direct, very blunt, very enthusiastic. And some of them were shrinking back. I've raised 4 children. And because I could see they were shrinking back, I'm like, well, I don't know what to do because I'm just a D and I'm an I and that's what I am. I'm a rose bush and a palm tree. And so when I read this book and I applied it to my life and I ran it through the Christian D.I.S.C testing, which we do as a church at New Life Church in Billings, Montana. Go look us up. You can hear what we believe and who we are and find it all on our church website. But the truth is, we were doing the D.I.S.C testing and I thought, wow, I really like it because I don't need to be so blunt and harsh and direct with the people I'm working with that have more of an S personality. And those pages were making noise, but that's okay. So what I want to say is we were doing this in our church. And then I get a hold of this and I start crying at home because I realized that I had been parenting in such a way that was hurting and crushing the heart of some of my children who do not relate to the palm tree side of me or the rosebush side of me, which is palm tree is I and rosebush is D. I'm going to always make sure you know that. So in that book, and as the Holy Spirit taught me and I got to grow in this, I had to learn to approach my children that are more of a pine tree, quieter, reserved. They like the lights down low. They like a quieter atmosphere. I think invite everyone you've ever met to your birthday party. And my pine tree daughter was definitely like, Mom, can I just invite my closest friends? And I'm like, well, I think your closest friends should be 50 people. And she's like, no, I'm more of a 3-person kind of a girl. And I was like, yeah, but you should include everyone. And she's like, Mom, it's not me. I had to learn this. So I have a rosebush son, and that means he's D in the D.I.S.C testing. He is so determined and driven and motivated, and I love it, and it's empowering. But you know what that means? He's a rosebush, and I have rosebush in me, and sometimes the rosebush in him and the rosebush in me would just butt heads, and I'm like, I'm missing it somewhere. I need to figure out what it takes to capture the heart of my son and let him flourish and not be so dominant over him. He needed to be able to lead. He needed to be able to direct some things and be very driven. And I had to back off as a mom. So that's my whole point, is I believe that as we walk through each of these, you will go, wow, one, I want to learn the Christian D.I.S.C test, and you'll just go online. You can take a free test. You can pay for them online. You can find them. Go look for them. And then you think, wow, I want to understand how to best connect with my own children, adult children as well. And the one thing that I think is really important is that this just be a learning tool. I don't want to put labels on anybody. I don't want anyone to feel like they're less than. I want everyone to feel like God designed me. And if God designed you as concise and a rule follower, and you feel like everyone thinks you're a dud, I would say you're not a dud. God made you that way. And I'm so thankful for the rule followers in this life. So stay along for the journey. I'm going to talk to you more about what each one does and how you can develop the strengths in each one and how you can learn to walk away from the weakness within your own D.I.S.C testing. So I hope this is encouraging you. Thanks for being here. Follow, subscribe, like, share these. And I hope these D.I.S.C informed series videos will reach way beyond just parents. I hope it reaches people that are leading groups of people and ministries. Maybe you're a college student and you're like, I've always wondered what my strengths were. Go do the D.I.S.C test and keep watching. God bless.
Push that subscribe button for more.